Hey everybody, welcome to American Studies 300, Introduction to Popular Culture. This is a welcome video, an introductory video about the nature of the class and what we're going to be doing this semester. You should have already received an email from me about the nature of the class. It's going to be on Titanium. That's where you will find the class page. The class is also going to be asynchronous. And what that means is we are not going to be meeting at regular times this semester. All my lecture material is going to be recorded and available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that makes it convenient for you. This is what the American Studies Department is doing this semester. I will have office hours. I'll talk more about that in a little while, and I will conduct those through Zoom. So I'll have lots of office hours. So if you have questions or you need help, you will be able to reach out to me and we'll be able to talk and get to know each other. But lecture material will be recorded for you. All right, so let's get talking about the nature of this class. Your instructor, that's me. I'm Matt Haskins. I've been teaching in the American Studies Department for 20 years. I've been teaching Intro to Pop Culture for almost that long. So I got some experience doing this stuff. The syllabus. The syllabus is your friend. It lays out everything we're going to be doing, your reading schedule, your due dates for assignments. So refer to the syllabus often. Okay, we're going to take a look specifically at the syllabus later on, so we'll get back to more of that. Class announcements. Like I said, I've already sent one out. If you didn't receive that class announcement, that probably means my emails are going to your spam folder. So go back and look through your spam folder. I sent that, I think, around January 10th. So look around then and try to get that into your priority folder for my announcements. You will also be able to find all of my announcements on the class page under a link for announcements. I'll show you that when we take a look at the class page. But you will both receive them as emails and then be able to go to the class page and look through every announcement we will have through the semester on the class page. All right. Let's talk about the books. There are 4 books. They are all required for this class. Reading's really important. We're in university. That's what we do. We read books. So make sure you get these books and you start reading right away. First book we're reading is Larry May's Screening Out the Past. It's about the history of silent movies. Second book we're reading is Louis Ehrenberg's Swingin' the Dream, Big Band Jazz and the Rebirth of American Culture. Third book we're going to read is about comic books, Brad Wright's Comic Book Nation. And the final book we're going to read is Susan Douglas's book, Where the Girls Are. They're all required. I include the ISBN number. That's the number that identifies the specific edition. So for any of you buying these books online, you can use that ISBN number, and that's really helpful because it will give you the exact edition that we're using. Not that there should be much of an issue. All of these books that we're reading really only have one significant edition there. So make sure you get the books, make sure you're doing the reading, okay? Class discussion. I'm going to talk about other assignments and other reading material or other things you're going to have to do to get a grade, but I want to start by specifically talking about class discussion. So every week I'm going to give you a prompt that you're going to respond to, okay? Make sure you're doing these, folks. These are really easy points for the most part. Most of these prompts are simply going to be me asking you, what do you think about something? Doesn't really even usually require much in the way of reading or knowledge. It's going to be, what is your reaction to something we've been studying for that week? So make sure you're doing this. Now, a few ground rules. There's a Word document under the How to Get Started module in the class for discussion rules. make sure you take a look at that, but I'm going to give you some other things also that I talk about here. First of all, let's talk about the grading of the discussion forum. To get full credit for this assignment, there are two things you need to do in terms of components. You will post an original reaction to the prompt, so your opinion about something. Okay, I'll show you where you do this when we look at the class page. Okay. You will also be required to respond to a classmate's post. All right, so there are going to be 10 points available for the discussion prompts. You will get 5 points for your initial response, and then you will get 5 points for responding to a classmate for a grand total of 10 points. Okay. Sometimes students get confused because they respond to the initial prompt and they get 5 points. And if you look at the grade book, you've only got 5 out of 10. And so students will sometimes think, they'll email me, what did I do wrong? What should I do different? Nothing. You simply need to now post a response to a classmate, in which case, once you do that, you'll get another 5 points. Now you've fully completed the assignment. All right. So it's a 10-point assignment with two components to it. All right. So sometimes students will post their initial prompt and then wait a few days before they respond to a classmate. And in the meantime, it looks like they've only got 50% credit, which actually you only do. But sometimes students get concerned because they're expecting to get full credit immediately. All right. So you need to do those two things. Okay. For the title, when you respond to your initial prompt, you will be asked to put a title on it. Do not respond with either your name or week 1 discussion, week 3 discussion, week 5 discussion. Don't select that as a title. If you give me your name or your the week that the discussion assignment is due, you will lose points on this. Okay. I want you to describe what you're talking about. Okay. So if, let's say, during the silent movie unit, you found something really interesting about Charlie Chaplin in the reading, and so your prompt is about Charlie Chaplin, then just, make your title Charlie Chaplin. Okay. I'm a stickler about this because I want you to help out your classmates. Okay. If you respond with a title, week 1 discussion, well, that doesn't tell your classmates what you're talking about. If you look through all the titles of all of them, week 1 discussion, week 1 discussion, week 1 discussion, it's boring. Your roommates, your classmates don't know what they might want to look at or what they might respond to. So describe what you're talking about. Maybe you also were interested in Charlie Chaplin for the reading. And so you're looking at your classmates' responses, and there's one Charlie, I want to read that. I want to see what that student says. Hopefully you're reading everybody's, but it'll allow you to zone in on, where you might want to respond. It just makes the forum more interesting, more creative, more revealing, more helpful. Okay? So it doesn't have to be the most clever title in the world. Just something that indicates to your classmates what you're talking about. Second, understand that the discussion forum is a university assignment, and so you should write out your response considering it's a university assignment, right? The discussion forum is not a text message. Right? You will capitalize words that need to be capitalized, including first words of sentences. You will end sentences with punctuation. All right. I don't care how you text your friends, but I do care how you do work at university. Okay. So the forum should be fun and it should be more informal, but it should be still grammatically correct with these things. So give some attention to that. Again, you will be downgraded if you're not capitalizing, you're not putting in punctuation. As I talk about in the Word document, discussion questions don't have to be terribly extensive. You know, I'm not expecting you to write paragraphs or even a full paragraph. A few sentences will suffice to get at the things. If you give me one sentence responses, it better be a long sentence and it better be a good sentence for that. But it doesn't have to be extensive. The forum discussion is just a way to get us so we know each other. So we feel a certain sense of community here where we can share what we're interested in or sometimes even what we're struggling with in there. Finally, when it comes to the forum, don't be a troll. Don't be rude to your classmates. Now, thankfully, I've never found this to be a problem, but I always worry about it when the semester starts. I always worry about some student that is used to being a troll online and thinks this forum discussion is another place to be a troll. Don't be that. I have zero tolerance for that. Be respectful and kind to your classmates. Treat other people online like you would want somebody to treat you or your best friend or your mom or your dad. All right? Be respectful. However, that doesn't mean we always have to agree with one another on the discussion forum. In fact, I encourage you to disagree with people if they write something that you feel different about. Either you have a differing opinion on the subject matter, or maybe you think that student is getting something wrong about course material. Now, do this in the most polite, caring way you can. But please, disagree. Have a differing opinion. Point out to students if you think they're wrong about something. Do it in a polite way. You know, you could respond to somebody who, like, let's say you think they're misreading something from the book. You could post to that student, I really enjoyed reading your comments. However, I had a little different take on the reading. I thought it was such and such and such and such. Okay. You were very polite, but you clearly acknowledge that you think the student's getting something wrong, or at least you have a different interpretation. Guess what? You're actually doing your classmate a tremendous service with that, because maybe they are getting something wrong, and maybe they're going to get something wrong on a written assignment or something they have to do for the class. And so by correcting them, you're actually helping them. Okay? Being polite does not mean always agreeing with people. In fact, one of the things we should really be learning at university is how to express differing opinions in a way that is polite, but nonetheless firm and constructive, like that. So the discussion forum doesn't have to be an endless listing of responding to classmates by, I really agree with what you said. I 100% agree with what, I mean, that's fine. That's fine if you really feel that way, but if you see some things you disagree with, hey man, go ahead, let them know. It'll make the forum a little spicier, a little more fun to read. Okay? But do it in a polite way, please. Okay? Technical help, online help. If you're having technical problems, I have some links here for you. There's how to get started in Titanium if you're new to Titanium. There's email for the student help desk, IT phone number, some things like that. If you're having technical issues, these are the first places to start, not necessarily me. I will probably refer you to these things because I'm not the least tech savvy person in the world, but I'm not the most tech savvy. And IT has a lot more access to what might be going on than I will. So these are the places to start. Now, if IT tell you there's an issue on my part, by all means, let me know and I'll do something to correct it. But you will save a lot of time if you start with these people, and rather than sending me an email saying like, I'm having trouble connecting to your class. IT will probably help if it's on your end. Okay. All right. That's the end of our little PowerPoint here. Let's take a look at the syllabus. Okay. Oops. Start it down here. Oh, I have the wrong syllabus up. Let's go to the class page. All right. We're going to talk about the class page in a minute here. but let's take a look at the syllabus first. So American Studies 300, Intro to Pop Culture. So there's the reading, there's the books that we have there. I've already talked about those. GE requirements, why you're taking this class and what it's going to fulfill. Course requirements and grading. All right, let's get to some stuff that students are really interested in. All right, we've talked about one component, the online discussion. That's going to be 10% of your grade in the class. Number 2 on our list are unit assessments. Every 2 weeks, you're going to take a 15-question quiz. 10 questions are going to be multiple choice. 5 questions are going to be true, false. Your first one will be week 2. I'll show you the link when we get to it when we look at the class page. The unit assessment, these quizzes are going to cover lecture material, reading material. There will be information from the books, so make sure you're doing the reading and not just reading the lectures. Okay. The unit assessments will be 25% of your grade. We won't have any other types of tests. We won't have a traditional midterm or final. Instead, you're going to write essays. Essay 1 will be worth 30 points. That will be due mid-March. And Essay 2 will serve as your final towards the end of class. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's take a look where I talk more about the essays here. For the essays, you will write 3 to 5 page papers responding to a prompt I post on the class page. For essay 1, I will post the prompt on March 5th, and you will have to submit your essay by March 19th. So you'll have 2 weeks to work on your essay. For essay 2, which essentially will function as your final, I'll post it on March 7th, and you will have to turn it in last day of the semester, March 21st. Okay. These are not research papers. These are essays from course material. So you don't have to do any outside reading or research. Your essay will be based solely on material from lectures, any videos I post, and your reading materials. Okay, so that's what you will have to do. I will make another video later on about how to be successful at it. I will post a rubric as we get closer about what I expect to look at, and I will have much further instructions later. For right now, don't worry about the essays. All you need to do now is watch the lectures, watch any other videos, do your reading, and if you have questions, send me an email or come to office hours. I'll talk about office hours later. That's all you need to worry about. As we get closer to the prompt for essay 1, I'll get into a lot more detail about this. I'll make another video. I'll answer any questions. Yeah, you don't need to worry about that as much. The rest of the syllabus is made up of weekly assignments and what you're going to be doing. So week 1, amusements and Victorian America. And for that week, you're going to read chapter 1 in Larry May's book. So May, chapter 1. Your online response, all the online responses are due for each week before midnight of the Friday of that week. All right, so January 29th, the first online response. Both your initial prompt and your response to your classmate will be due by Friday. Okay, and that's the rest of the due dates and goes through each week as we go on. All right, let's look at the class page now. Okay, I put it on a little bit earlier to get the syllabus. But this is what it's going to look. It's going to look a little slightly different because this is the instructor view on here. But essentially, it's going to look similar like this to you. Talked about class announcements. Okay. I will send these. You will receive these as emails. Like I said, I've already sent one. Oops. And it was American Studies 300 greeting. I did send that out January 10th. So if you didn't receive that email, go back, look in your spam folder on January 10th, and you'll see it. All of them will be here, come up like this, Okay? And so you can always look up class announcements under this heading here. Okay? How to get started in this class. This video will be here when I'm done, but I'm recording it right now, so it can't be there. Your syllabus is going to be there. Discussion forum, question, Word document is there. So some basic information will be there. And then the rest of the class page, we will have your weekly modules. Right? The first time you look at your weekly modules, these drop down here, it might not be there. It might not. So what you'll have to do is go to this link where it says week 1, then the dates for that week, and then click on that link, and then this material should drop down. Okay. Nothing is, oh, no, take that back, never mind. Okay, so what kinds of things are you going to find in the weekly modules? Well, I give you, instead of making you go back and look at the syllabus every week, I give you the weekly reading assignment for that week. So you click on week 1 reading assignment, Larry May, Screening Out the Past, chapter 1. Just like it says in the syllabus, but I kind of like to start the weekly module with it there for you to make life easy. Your discussion question, you'll hit on that link, and your discussion question. And then towards the bottom, it will say, respond to this prompt. You'll hit that, and that's where you'll be able to respond to the prompt. Below that will be your classmate responses. If you're the very first person in class that's going to respond, there won't be anything there. It'll just say, no responses prompted yet, something along those lines. But you will also be able to see your classmates' responses as they are. And when you want to respond to them, you'll click on one of their links, and then there will be an opportunity to respond to their link. So again, you'll have one of those every week. You'll initially respond to the prompt, and then to a classmate. Okay. Then the lectures. Okay. So lecture 1, your first lecture, Victorianism. Lecture 2, part 2 of the Victorianism. There's actually going to be another one because I'm going to have an introductory one about the nature of the course where I'll go into more detail with it there. For the lectures, I lecture over PowerPoint like I did at the beginning of this video here. I also include the raw PowerPoints for that. So some students like to print those out and have those so they can study those. And so it's just the same thing that was in the lecture, but in the raw form. And so you could print them out if you like. Okay. Only thing different for week 2 is this is where you'll get the unit assessment. That's when you're ready to take the quiz. You hit that link. It will explain the instruction. Don't worry. When you hit this initial link here, you do not immediately start it. So you can take a look at this anytime you want. It'll explain the instructions as it goes through, when it's due, how long you have to do. And then on this page will be, are you ready to take the test, take the quiz now. So don't worry, you can click this initial link, but the next one, when this page opens, once you hit that one, you're going to start, and you got one attempt. So make sure you're ready to take it. You can work 1 week ahead. So as you start this, you'll see week 1 available, week 2 available. Okay, but for weeks 3, 4, 5, everything's hidden at that time. I will make that available a week ahead. So after week 1 is done and we move to week 2, January 30th, week 3 will also pop up. So I'll let you work a little bit ahead, but I don't want anybody trying to go too far ahead. We got to do this together as a class. Discussion forums get weird when people are too far ahead. So you can work 1 week ahead. Let's talk about office hours. Okay, so all the lectures are going to be recorded, but you will have access to me through Zoom for office hours. Okay, I'll have office hours 3 days a week as they're listed here. Monday, 8 a.m. to 9:30. Wednesday, later in the evening from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. and then Friday from 8 a.m. to 9:30. Okay, so 3 days a week. And office hours are going to be on Zoom. So during those times, you want to talk to me, you just come to the class page and just hit this link right there and it'll take you to me. Okay. You'll be first placed in a waiting room, and then I will admit you. If I'm already with a student, you'll have to wait a little while. I will know you're there. I'll see that you're in a waiting room. So I will try to finish up as quickly as I can with the student I'm dealing with. And then I will admit you. Office hours are individual. So I will speak with you one at a time. Students sometimes are sharing private information. We're sometimes talking about grades and things like that. Some students just aren't comfortable talking about other people. So office hours are private. If you do want me to meet with some other people, you can all just show up and the first one of you that gets in say, hey, I'm with so-and-so and so-and-so also. We'd like to all discuss it together. And then I'll just admit them. And so if you want to share office hours with someone else, then just, coordinate it with your friend or your friends, and then just let me know. And then I'll just admit you all and we can all have a nice conversation. Okay. Please use office hours if you need help. Okay. I get paid for office hours. It is part of my job. It is in my contract. It is in all faculty members' contract that we have office hours. Okay, so don't come in there and apologize to me like you're interrupting me. And I hate to bother you, but I have this question. No. You pay for office hours, my friends. You pay for it. All right. And so I really want you to come to office hours. If you need help, if you have questions, if you want to find out how to improve, if you're struggling, come to office hours. Come talk to me. I will help you out the best I can. All right. So don't be sheepish. Don't be shy. You're more than welcome. You don't have to show yourself if you just want to speak. I will be there. You'll be able to see me unless there's a bandwidth issue or something like that. And so we don't get to see each other in lecture. We don't get to see each other in a classroom. This is where we'll get to know each other on an interactive basis. So please, by all means, use office hours. It is a wonderful resource for you there. All right, everybody. That's the nature of the class. That's what we're going to be doing. Again, I'm really looking forward to our class. I really hope you enjoy it. Pop culture is a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, and we got to read books and we got to study. But it's interesting material. I hope you're going to enjoy the class. All right, everybody, take care.